Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Welcome if this is your first time here. So this is going to be your love and spirituality reading for Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, and I'll also be doing an extended video as always, so I'll leave the link to that in the description box down below. Alright, so let's jump into it, water signs. I'm going to first talk about the messages that came through to me while I was meditating on your energy earlier. So don't be alarmed with what I'm about to say. I'm going to explain what it means. I was getting in meditation the coronavirus, I believe that's how you pronounce it. I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, I was picking up on that virus that is, causing everyone to be extremely fearful. And I was picking that up for two reasons. One, for some of you, this is a specific message that you fear catching that virus, or you specifically fear that that virus is going to spread. It's like some of you have a lot of fears about it. I'm seeing that some of you are researching it heavily, or you're hearing it being talked about heavily, and it's really kind of weighing on your mind. But that's only for a small group of you. For others of you, this coronavirus, or what I was picking up in meditation, is more a metaphor or an analogy for your fears that are kind of overtaking your mind. Like some of you are very fearful of certain things in your life or certain outcomes, and you're trying your best to avoid them at all costs, but it's causing you a lot of mental strain and a lot of stress. Like trying to constantly avoid and dodge your fears, it's basically exhausting you at this point, and it's getting to the point where you're not even living life. Your whole life is consumed with trying to avoid a certain thing, trying to avoid a certain feeling, trying to avoid a certain outcome. And it's like you can't live in those conditions for too long, because you can never find peace or find happiness when you're constantly avoiding. See what I'm saying? Like, for example, if you have a fear of intimacy, a lot of your a lot of your life could be dedicated to making sure that you don't get too attached to people. Making sure that you are not getting too invested, constantly avoiding that feeling. And like I said, it's very hard for you to enjoy life and experience life if you allow those fears to consume you. I'm also hearing that a lot of you are needing to focus on self-mastery, or you have the desire for self-mastery, put it that way. It's like some of you are starting to realize that you want to be more balanced. You want to be more stable within. It's like you want to be able to control your emotions and control what's going on inside of you, despite any type of chaos that's going on outside of you. So some of you in the month of March will be moving into self-mastery, or trying to learn self-mastery, trying to learn to just master your inner or your internal world, so that the outer or external, so that the outer or external world doesn't affect you as heavily, because some of you are just very tired of your emotions just kind of being up and down, like your emotions being like swayed by the things that are going on outside of you, and you're wanting to get that under wraps and under control in the month of March is what I am seeing. For those of you who are specifically afraid of that virus and who are researching it a lot, you're being advised to stop researching it, because you're feeding the fear, and the fear is actually growing bigger and bigger, because fear is actually an energy, and you're feeding the energy, and it's growing bigger and bigger until it consumes you, is what I'm seeing. So there may be a need for you to stop researching it, stop indulging in it, but that goes for any fear that you have, really. At times it is very important to face the fear head on, but that's only when it's a fear that you have the ability to overcome. Like if you have like the fear of like dogs, it could be beneficial for you to go to therapy and be exposed to dogs slowly but surely. Like maybe you're exposed to like a stuffed dog at first, and then you move up to a puppy, and then like a big dog, But there are certain fears that like we really just have to stop feeding. Like we can't keep diving into them and facing them and indulging in them, because it's doing nothing but causing a lot of stress. So just keep that in mind. I was also getting Coraline, the movie Coraline, in meditation, and I was picking up Coraline. Specifically, there's like a scene, I believe, where she's like jumping in a puddle, and so I was getting that some of you are very tired of shallow connections. You're tired of those very surface level connections. You want something that's deeper. You want something that is more fulfilling. I feel like for some of you, your depth really scares people. Like the depth that you can go in terms of your emotions, like when you are emotionally connected to someone, it scares people, because they're not ready to be that much in depth or that much in touch with their own feelings. So seeing how much you feel yours, and knowing how passionate you are, like when you're connected to them, it frightens them. And some of you may take this very personally, but it's not personal. Like I said, it's like their fear of going into the depths. They may prefer connections or people who are shallow just like them, so they never have to dive deep below that surface, is what I'm seeing. So it's really not personal, but some of you are seeking out connections that are deeper. I'm also seeing the color blue and the color yellow, so that would be the solar plexus chakra, I believe, and the throat chakra. So the solar plexus chakra is about your personal power, your confidence, your willpower, and things of that sort. So some of you will be working on those things in the month of March. Really, like I said before, like self-mastery, really working on taking back your power by not allowing external things to affect you too heavily. I'm also seeing, like I said, the color blue, which is the throat chakra, meaning that some of you are needing to start speaking up for yourself, especially if you have a tendency to be somewhat of a people pleaser. It's like you're needing to move away from that sort of energy and learn how to speak up for yourself, even if it makes other people uncomfortable. I'm also getting that it could be the opposite. Some of you have to learn when to not speak or when to not speak up, because sometimes you could be wasting your energy speaking on certain things, or sometimes you can think before you can speak before you think and then end up regretting it. So just keep that in mind for the month of March. All right, so let's dive into your actual tarot cards now. The overall energy for March is the Six of Wands in the reverse and the Letting Go card. Okay, so the Six of Wands in reverse lets me know that some of you are feeling a bit defeated, or feeling like you have failed at something that you thought you were going to be successful at, or you thought it was going to be successful and it did not turn out that way. And so the overall energy for the month of March is learning how to let go of that feeling of self-defeat. I feel like you've been in this energy for a while now, like you've been kind of stewing in this and kind of thinking about, like, why did it happen like this? Why couldn't it have turned out like this instead? Like really being way too hard on yourself is what I'm seeing, beating yourself up way too much. And so it's like in the month of March, you're being asked to let go of that energy. And it's not going to be, easy, like you just snap your fingers and let it go. It's something that you're going to have to work through slowly but surely. But there's definitely a need to get rid of this notion that you failed, because even if you did fail, it was still a learning experience. I know that, that doesn't help all the time. Like it doesn't, sometimes hearing like, well, you learned from it still doesn't make you feel better. But it's true, you actually did learn from the experience. There's no such thing as a failure. You can only really fail if you went through this experience and decide to turn a blind eye to all the lessons and you learn nothing. That's when you really wasted your time. So that's not the case here. If you were to take the things that you acquired from that situation, take the lessons, take the growth and things of that sort, you can turn that into a win for the future instead of focusing on the fact that it was a loss this time around, is what I am seeing. And again, this is one of those things where it's going to happen over time, slowly but surely. But the month of March, I feel like, is your starting point. It's like where you're starting at in terms of moving away from this loss that you took and moving into a win based off of what you learned from that loss. So your blockage for the month of March, we have the King of Cups in the reverse, and we have the Rebel card. Okay. With the King of Cups being here in the reverse, I'm hearing emotional manipulation, and it doesn't have to be someone manipulating you emotionally. Like I said, it could just be external things that are causing your emotions to sway. Like you see something online that's extremely sad and it just really depletes you and drains your energy, and now you're in a terrible mood. It's like that sort of thing. Or like you're on social media and you're consuming too many people's thoughts to the point where your mood is swinging. It's like that sort of thing, like needing to kind of guard and protect your emotions in the month of March, because you could just be more susceptible to absorbing emotions than usual, is what I'm seeing. And again, that is a form of emotional manipulation. Your emotions are being manipulated by things going on outside of you. So just be very careful of that. This could also be a person, though, of course. This could be a person who's emotionally manipulative, but for the most part, I feel like it's just an overall energy. I don't think for most of you this is a specific person. With the Rebel card being here, again, this is going to be something that's a bit different for you, because I feel like in the recent past or for a while you've been stuck in that energy of your emotions swaying back and forth, and so this is going to be something very different, like making the conscious effort to not allow your emotions to sway and not be manipulated. It's going to be something very, very different for you. It's like you're breaking a pattern that you've had for a very, very long time, and it's going to feel very strange at first, but it's going to be extremely fulfilling if you can keep this up in the month of March. Like if you can keep keeping your emotions in check, and whenever you feel your emotions about to sway, like kind of bringing yourself back to center. The more you do that, the more you center yourself, the easier it's going to be to continue to do this, but it's going to feel uncomfortable at first. I'm going to pull one more. Five of Pentacles. Okay. All right, so I feel like for some of you, this message is talking about specific people, because I'm hearing gaslighting. Can't even lie to you. I'm hearing gaslighting with this King of Cups in the reverse. Gaslighting, for those of you who don't know, is a manipulation tactic where someone will kind of bend and distort reality, make you question your own reality as a means of control. So they'll do something harmful to you, and then when you confront them, they'll bend it and distort reality so that you can question yourself, second guess yourself, and things of that sort. And I tweeted about this not too long ago. I tweeted that gaslighting is a form of fear, because people who take part in this, yes, they're abusive, and underneath all of that abusive behavior is a very broken, shameful individual, and a lot of them will gaslight to control, because they are so fear-based of losing that control, like afraid of you seeing them for who they are, afraid of you leaving because of this. And of course, there are some people who gaslight who just enjoy playing with people's minds because of the fact that they like having control over people, or they like seeing that they make that type of impact on people. And again, that's a result of a very shameful, fear-based individual who has to play those types of games to feel like they matter, or that they are important. So if you're dealing with someone who gaslights, that may be the breakdown of why they are the way they are. Doesn't make it acceptable, and doesn't mean you have to continue dealing with it, because it will just make you second guess yourself, and you don't want to end up completely not trusting yourself because of the manipulation. So you may need to move away from that type of person, and I feel like some of you, or most of you, are, with the Five of Pentacles being here in the reverse. It's like you are moving away from whatever emotional manipulation has been taking place, and you're really not looking back. I see you detaching from it in the month of March, so that is a good thing. All right, so the advice here, we have the King of Pentacles and we have the completion card. So the advice here is for you to really fully focus on becoming stable in the month of March. The King of Pentacles is like the energy of someone who is extremely stable, extremely focused. I'm also picking up the words loyal, but it's like I'm seeing in the month of March that some of you are moving out of this energy of being loyal to a fault. Like some of you have been so loyal to people who have mistreated you and who have not done the same for you, and you're coming out of that in the month of March. I feel like you've been already coming out of it. You are now only going to be loyal to yourself first and foremost. And so that if someone is mistreating you or hurting you, because you are loyal to yourself, you will be completing that cycle and getting rid of them. Because with the completion card being here, it's like the last piece to the puzzle. So for some of you, it's like you have been in a very confused state, either about a person or people, or confused about just life in general. And this sense of being loyal to yourself, or making that vow to be loyal to yourself, is like the missing piece of the puzzle that's going to help you to close out these cycles where you felt like you've been taken advantage of, or you've just felt overall just confused and lost. So loyalty to yourself is what's going to help you to overcome that energy. So we're going to do outside energy now. We're going to do how you are affecting people this upcoming month and how they are affecting you. All right, so actually we're going to start with how people are affecting you. Excuse me. So we have the Two of Wands here for how people are affecting you. So with the Two of Wands being here, I feel like in the month of March, people are going to be doing two things. Okay, I'm picking up two different messages. For some of you, people are going to be inspiring you. I feel like a lot of you will come across people who are just doing things with their life that you would like to also accomplish, and it almost like sparks a fire under you. It makes you see like what's possible. It like broadens and expands your horizons in terms of like what's possible for you to achieve, and you start taking the steps towards achieving it because you see someone else who has achieved it, and it makes it look more realistic. And once it's more realistic and you think you can do it, that's when you'll start taking action towards it. But that's for some of you. For others of you, I'm seeing that this Two of Wands is talking about turning your back on situations that are just really stagnant, that are comfortable to a point where it's like too comfortable. You know, because there is such thing as too comfortable to the point where you are no longer expanding, and it's almost like your soul, your mind is calling for expansion. So you could just start feeling very antsy and very anxious in certain situations because that's your intuition telling you it's time to expand. There's no more expansion in this situation. It's over, it's done with, it's time to move on. Like whether that be a job or switching homes maybe, but yeah, it's like this antsy, anxious feeling that you can't shake, and it's because you're in your comfort zone for too long and you're ready to step out of it. You can sense that there's like a whole new world, and that's basically you're sensing it because of the people, because of how certain people are just making you feel, put it that way. Let me see if anything else is coming through. I hope that I explained that message the right way. So on the other end of outside energy, we have how you are affecting people. So we have the Six of Cups that is here. So this is how you are affecting people, or you're affecting a specific person. So if this is how you're affecting people, the Six of Cups talks about someone looking at you in a way that is very innocent and loving. This might be a specific person. Hold on. I really hope that these messages are making sense. In case I didn't explain this, the outside energy, because I feel like I just dived into this. The outside energy is basically how other people are influencing our energy and influencing the way that we think and things of that sort. I don't know if I explained that at first, so I just wanted to restate it. But yeah, the way you're influencing people or a specific person in the month of March is like they're seeing you as someone who is very, like they're looking at you with fondness is what I'm hearing. Like they're remembering you fondly, put it that way, where they are reminiscing about a lot of good memories that you may have had. This could be a direct result of you moving forward or moving away from a certain situation. It's like absence makes the heart grow fonder sort of energy, and it's like they're thinking about all the good things or all the good memories and things of that sort, and that could be a result of you kind of turning your back or going to expand your horizons elsewhere. I'm gonna pull one more. And again, this doesn't have to be romantic. This could literally be you moving out of your parents' house and they're like reminiscing about like, oh, I remember when they were just a baby, and it could literally be that. So it's not always about romance. Let me pull one more. Oh, the Four of Pentacles. Okay. I guess that's good news. Yep, all right. This is good news. Okay. Well, it depends on how you look at it. Because I'm getting on their side that even though they're looking at you or they're remembering really good memories with you, and they're like, it's like this innocence to them, meaning that they remember the innocent parts of your connection. It's not that they are holding on too tightly. And this is important because sometimes when people think about you, you can feel them thinking about you. That's why sometimes when you think about someone, they'll suddenly just call you. It's like telepathy between you and that person. So if someone's thinking about you a lot, you can start to feel their energy, and depending on what their thoughts are, it could really kind of impact you negatively. So I'm not seeing that this is like an obsession or like trying to like really hold on, because that could start to kind of weigh on you a bit. This is more like just reminiscing in a very lighthearted way, and but being willing to kind of release that grasp and being willing to kind of let go. And this is for those of you who, like I said, you may have moved away from this person or from these people, but they are in the month of March definitely thinking about you. yeah, in a very innocent way. We're going to dive more into that in the extended video. I will leave the link to that in the description box down below. Sorry if this reading was a little rushed. I feel like so many messages were like racing through my mind. So hope that I conveyed everything clearly. So thank you for watching this reading, and I will see you guys over on my Vimeo channel. Bye.